Welcome to An American Homestead, podcasting live from deep within the Ozark Mountains at an elevation of 2,200 feet. It's 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central, and it's good to be back, folks. Got a great show for you tonight. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's going to be very exciting. Some really cool news. Just a lot has happened this week, and so we'll get right to it. But first off, the show is brought to you by GasSpouts.com. We did a video on them this week. Killed a few soda bottles. And you can have that 20% off discount by using our coupon code over at GasSpouts.com. It's AAH20 off. And you get 20% off your American-made gas spouts that replace those crazy lawyer-invented gas spouts. They sell it at China Mart nowadays. So anyway, GasSpouts.com. Really appreciate them sponsoring the show. And hey, listen, folks, if you like this show, you're going to love a lot of others over at thehomesteadnetwork.com. You can go over to thehomesteadnetwork.com, click on their show times, and find other amazing homesteads that talk about all kinds of things, including homesteading, off-grid living, preparedness, gardening, livestock, alternative energy, food preservation. Canning is really big this time of year, so a lot of these guys are talking about canning. We are doing some of that as well, so lots of good stuff over there. Check them out, thehomesteadnetwork.com. And so many things to talk about tonight. Again, it's always a jam-packed show. Am I going to get it all in? I don't know. Jamie's with me, as always, and I've got my decaf coffee, but this time, my decaf coffee is a little bit different.
Why is it different?
Because it's got a port in it.
What kind of a port?
I don't know. It's just a port. I don't. I said a port. What I mean, like a port, like a Boston port, like a bay, or ships come into port, or a USB port. We were gifted recently by some friends of ours who might be in the chat room. I haven't gone over the chat room to look yet, but Scott and Teresa, and they gave us a port wine that they made. And it's a chocolate port.
Interesting.
So,
you put chocolate in your coffee.
I did.
Okay, let me get this straight. You put chocolate in your coffee.
Well, is that wrong?
It's wrong for you.
No, I just don't mix, the salty with the sugar. There's no salt in this.
You don't like flavored coffee. You would never like drink mocha or something like that.
Probably not. But I asked our friend Phil. He was we saw him last week, and he also I think got a bottle of this port. And I said, would it be good in coffee? And he said, absolutely, be good in coffee. And so I put it. I decided, tonight at the show, because Scott and Teresa may be listening, I said, we'll go ahead and try it, and it tastes.
You're talking about Philip.
Yeah. Did I say Philip?
You said Phil.
Oh, same thing.
I don't think he likes to be called Phil.
Okay. Sorry, Philip. Yeah, so I put the port in the coffee, and it tastes good.
Let me try it.
Okay. Here, let me set it down. I don't want to spill it. It's hot. But then I was before the show started, I Googled port, and the first thing that came up was port wine. You don't like it?
No. That's horrible.
Really? I think it tastes good.
Oh.
Well, maybe you like the port without the coffee.
I
think it tastes good.
Sorry, guys. That's a big fat no from me.
Well, she'll have to try it.
Here, let me have another sip just to make sure.
She'll have to try it without the coffee. Maybe it's the coffee.
Oh, it's horrible.
Okay.
It's like, why would you put wine in your coffee?
It's not wine. It's chocolate port.
It tastes like wine to me. Wine mixed with coffee.
But it's a chocolate wine. Philip said it would taste good. I don't disagree with Philip. Anyway,
I do.
Okay, so anyway, before the show started, I Googled port. She's embarrassed now.
I'm not embarrassed. I just think it's so bad. Like, you guys, I'm not picky. Like, I'm really not picky. Zach is a lot more picky than I am.
I don't think it tastes bad.
It's bad.
Anyway, so I Googled port wine before the show for the third time. And port wine, to be a true port wine, it has to be made in Portugal. Did you know that?
No.
Port wine has to be made in Portugal.
Huh.
It's a Portuguese fortified wine produced exclusively in the Douro Valley of the northern provinces of Portugal. It is typically a sweet red wine, often served as a dessert wine, although it comes in a dry, semi-dry, and white varieties. So that's a true port. I don't know. I'll have to ask him next time I see him and ask him, why he called it a port. Maybe there's just a way they process it that makes it a port. I'm not sure. Or the way they process it in Portugal that people can copy and also do to make it a port. Anyway, it's really cool because, we're making wine on the homestead, and we've made wine in the past. We're going to make some more wine in the future, and now we're producing products for a distillery down the road. And people have often asked about, our wines, and it's a really cool homestead thing to do, to make your own wine, to make your own fermented drink, and to make your own fermented foods, canned foods, cured meats. It's artisan crafting of food, and people enjoy doing that. It's a really fun thing for a lot of people. And she's pouring herself a glass.
No, I just took a little sip of the actual wine.
Okay, so all right. So what'd you think of that?
Yeah, it tastes good. It tastes kind of like berries.
Berries.
Yeah, like it's got maybe like a blackberry or some kind of a berry, but it tastes good by itself. I would never put it in coffee.
Well, mine's in my coffee, so
okay.
And there she'll stay. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, port wines, winemaking, it's a big thing, and we have enjoyed doing it. I know a lot of homesteads make their own wines, and people have been doing it for thousands of years because it's actually a pretty easy process to ferment something. Anything with sugar can be fermented. So anyway, let's see what else we got. Getting into our stack of stuff today. What did we do this week? We ordered new batteries.
Yeah.
I was going to make a lot on this topic. I was going to make tonight's show on a different topic. I was going to make it on solar. And, all of the solar companies that are going out of business. And I'm going to do a video on it this week because we got some new batteries coming in. We ordered 4 new AGM batteries, 12 volt. Very pricey. However, I noticed some things as I was researching and I was looking for batteries. Every single solar company that existed when we started this homestead in the area is now out of business. Did you know that?
Yeah, I think you mentioned something like that, but, it doesn't really surprise me.
The only company that's still working in our area is a company that does not sell to the public. They do only massive solar projects.
Yeah.
And installations. They will not deal directly with the public.
Nobody wants to deal with the little guy who doesn't know what they're doing to begin with.
Right, because it's very there's a lot involved with that. There's a lot of support. There's a lot of maintenance, and so you have a big issue. And so,
plus it's not lucrative because how many people are actually doing it?
Not many. And there's some people who have a lot of money. But the thing is, this is not simple. This is not, easy. This is not Joe's six-pack. I can plug and play and forget it. Because that's what Joe's six-pack, the average American likes to do today is plug and play, and forget about it. And solar is not that. It takes constant monitoring. And when something goes wrong, and it will, you need someone to call. And these people that you call, they can't stay in business if they're coming out and rescuing someone who has screwed over their solar system because they let it run too long. And they've ruined batteries and things that are under warranty, and the customer demands that they get better business bureau ratings that are poor. It's a horrible industry, and you have to know what you're doing to do okay with it. So we're going to talk about that this week. I was going to make the whole show on it, but we'll do probably a series of videos, maybe not a series, but two or three videos on this topic. Number one, we found our batteries online. Everyone else that we called a very popular, who has a YouTube channel actually, company in Missouri. I won't mention the name, but their prices were just out of this universe for batteries. And I found some AGMs online, that included free delivery. I couldn't believe it, and the reviews on them were spectacular. So we'll talk some more about that.
Oh, I hope they're good.
I hope they're good too.
They better be good.
Yeah, we're going to be using them for what?
Our freezer.
Our freezer.
We're actually going to be able to make ice.
Ice.
We're going to have a freezer.
It's a deep freeze, a small one.
Yeah, but
it's a
freezer.
It has a freezer. and we've let like all these people in the community that we live around, they've all used it except us since we moved here. I mean, it's passed around to a couple families.
Really?
Yeah.
More than one?
Well, yeah, it was over at Allen's before.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So we finally got it back, and now we're gonna try to use it with a new solar setup, and we'll walk you through that this week on some videos. So yeah, it's exciting times here at the homestead. Things are always changing. Ice. So, I got some word back this week from the distiller down the road, speaking to them, and they did a test on our sorghum syrup that we made last year, and they said it was like over 64% sugar, and they said it was perfect. So really good results back from that. Definitely something they can use for their distillery. We're going to be making more of it coming this fall. And the sugar cane that we have growing in the quarter acre is growing just excellent. So the test came back great. What?
No, nothing.
You're looking at me.
Just looking at you.
Are you looking at my notes?
No.
Oh, you're just looking at me.
Never mind.
Okay. So she gave me this weird look. Like what? So yeah, the test came back great. So we're gonna be able to make. They're gonna be able to use it. We're gonna be able to sell it to them. And then when people come and want to purchase homestead products, they'll have to be labeled and taxed under license of the federal government, but we'll be able to do that. So that's good news.
That's cool.
I like that. An American homestead rum or an American homestead whiskey.
We won't have our name on it.
Well, we could do special batches. He said maybe. I think that'd be cool.
To put our label on it?
Well, no, his label, his information, but it could be on the label though.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, special batch or, things like that. So we're eating our melons. Our melons are coming in. I don't know if we talked about that before, but we're harvesting some melons. We lost one to some kind of critter who got in the garden, but I haven't seen any other losses out there. Did you?
I saw one. I don't know if the same one that you did.
Okay, I don't know.
I saw one earlier this week.
Was it new, fresh?
I thought it was.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Anyway, we haven't lost a whole lot to the critters, but they are known to come in. I don't know if it's a raccoon or an armadillo or a groundhog, but something is coming in. I'm assuming last year it was a groundhog.
They know just when they're perfectly ripe.
Well, you can smell them. I mean, you bring them in from the garden, and they smell really sweet sometimes.
I know.
So
they're so good.
Yeah, they're really good. And staying busy, working part-time. I still have to work from home, and so I build websites, and so we've been doing that this week. I've been helping a client out with some web work. And waiting on tomatoes to come in. Tomatoes are going a little slow. I don't know if it's because of temperatures or what, but we had that first initial harvest, and then it kind of slowed down. It looked out there. There's a lot of green tomatoes coming in.
Yeah, they just
haven't turned red yet.
Yeah, so maybe, I don't know if I'm going to be able to be doing that this week or not.
Yeah. Anyway, so tonight, what I wanted to do is go to talk about YouTube. YouTube. And, this is sometimes when people, tell us that we're being too negative. But, it's just the way it is. So YouTube this week began to purge. There was an article over at Steam this week on the upcoming purge on YouTube, and they're basically demonetizing 90% of all conservative channels. Okay, and I know I've said that in the past, and basically it was just a little bit here and there, a little at a time. But it was an article even on Drudge this week where I forgot, is it Fire and Spice, or the two African American girls and black girls who were supporters of Donald Trump during the campaign. They were really, on fire for him, still are. And they had a YouTube channel with like 80,000 subscribers. 90% or more of their videos have now been demonetized. And there's been channel after channel that has come out, and, if they're any type of conservative, if they're any sort of religious, firearms related, they're being demonetized one after the other. And so the purge has begun. Well, there's been a lot of people very upset at this, obviously, and they don't know what to do because they're not making money on YouTube anymore, and that was their main source of income. So you can imagine that these people who If you have any sort of religious stuff on your channel, or if you appear in any way conservative or pro-gun or any of these things, and now your channel, some of these people have hundreds of thousands or even millions of subscribers, your money just went away. And so people are talking about this big time this week. And so there was an article written over at Steemit, and just looking at all the evidence, and they had a picture or a copy of a posting of the Google diversity team. Google owns YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google, and they have the Google diversity team. Some of them posted. You have to post to them, and they want to show you. Okay, here's the diversity team. Here's what you're dealing with, and if you think when you read these people's profiles that you could, have a lot in common, so to speak, with these folks, then your channel's probably going to be okay. If not, if you think you read these people's profiles and you don't think that you would have a lot in common with these people, chances are your channel's in jeopardy. Okay? So, if you're interested, you can go to our description. The link is in the description below. You can click on that. It's the first link in the description under YouTube channel censorship. It says the YouTube purge is here. The YouTube purge is here. And so you click on that and you scroll about halfway down, or maybe 3/4 of the way down the post, and you come to their postings of their bios that they were posting of who these people, who is the Google diversity team. So the first one is described as a polyamorous, queer, autistic, trans lesbian. I'm also a computer witch.
What in the world is that?
That's her own description. Someone who serves on the Google diversity team. What does polyamorous mean?
Well, poly means many and amorous means love. So, many love.
I'm glad I didn't know that. You're really smart.
Thank you.
Poly, many, amorous, love? Many loves.
Many loves.
Okay.
I
She's
don't even.
Polyamorous.
I don't even know. I just don't want to think about what that means. I just la 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 la.
So that's just one. That's just one of them. Now you can read through the list and you can get an idea by looking at their pictures and reading their bios, where the rest of these guys fall. I mean, they're all basically in the same ballpark. And this is the Google diversity team. And they're now determining, and many others like them are determining whether or not your channel can make money on YouTube or not.
Yeah, I can see why they wouldn't like us.
They wouldn't like me at all. And probably a lot of other people who are listening to our show and who have conservative viewpoints or have a belief in the Bible or, things like that. Because it goes against their lifestyle.
They probably look at me and think that I'm in bondage to male chauvinists.
Yeah, you need to they need to help you become a feminist.
Yeah, I need some saving.
Yeah, so this is the new Google diversity team. And so this has been going on. I mean, I've been talking about this on my channel for the last few months. Folks, I'm telling you, this was coming. It's coming. Now it's here. And these channels are getting demonetized. And some people said, Zach, you're overblowing it. I mean, come on, YouTube gives us a great opportunity, but no, I'm telling you, they're taking it away. I was crying, trying to tell people that this was coming, and now it's here. And if they haven't got to your channel yet, they will. I mean, right now they're working with the big dogs. They're going after the people with 100,000 subscribers or more, and they're knocking these channels down. Okay, and it's going to come down, and eventually they'll get to the lower guys because there's a lot more of us. It takes time to get to us because there's a lot of people like us who are under 100,000 subscribers or 100,000 subscribers or less. And, it takes time to get through them. They only have so many diversified team members on Google who can, work through all these people they have to work through. So
must be a hard job.
It's got to be a hard job. I mean, they're probably
so sorry.
They're probably stressed.
Yeah.
They're and one says she's proudly bipolar. So she's got to be doubly stressed.
I don't even have any response to that.
So
you like being double person? I mean,
she's proud to be.
I'm sorry if you're
yeah.
bipolar. We're not trying to make fun of that.
No, we're not. I'm just saying that.
Why would you be proud to have some kind of diagnosed medical condition?
And really, is that the kind of person you want to put in charge of determining?
Oh, I feel like deleting you today. Ka-chink.
Yeah. The person who you're going to put in charge of ruining or allowing the existence of a career.
Oh, I'm having a good day. I guess they'll stay.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's horrible.
This is nuts, folks. This is Nazi Germany all over again, and it's complete and total censorship. However, the good news is there is good news. Don't accuse me of being negative, because I can be positive. There is positive news on the front, folks. I was before the weekend started, Friday evening. A friend of mine, D. Wells from over at Steam It, sent me a message that DTube, a decentralized video platform using Steam and IPFS, which is a type of programming. DTube is being launched where you can upload videos. It is going to be a YouTube competitor. Now it's in its infancy. It's just being launched. I mean, there's a lot of, the guy even says in the article that he posted, where is it? It's at the end. It says YouTube. It says, while I personally believe that decentralization is the future, I do too. Don't get your hopes too high yet. Competing with YouTube is a heavy task that cannot be done by one man. This is the programmer speaking. My intent with this project was to practically demonstrate the possibility of a decentralized video on top of IPFS. It works, but we don't know how well it will work in the long term. YouTube also has a lot of extra features that makes the experience superior. What I built represents maybe 1% of the work required to have something that can compete with YouTube. I built some walls, but there's no insulation or painting, and the whole building might collapse at any time. No, I mean, it's this way with any project that you develop in programming. And so, but it works. You can upload videos and you can watch videos, and you can get paid through the Steam blockchain. You can link your account from Steemit to DTube and get paid with Steam. That to me is amazing. That's exactly what we need. Now, here's why I'm excited. On Friday afternoon, Steam, the market value of Steam was going down. It was down like $1.13 or $1.20 or something. It was going down. It had lost like 15 cents, 20 cents on the week or something like that. Well, this post by I'm in Danger. I'm in Danger. That's kind of a cool name. How do you say that? I'm in Danger. That's kind of a cool name. I don't know how to say it correctly.
I don't either.
Either way, the guy who posted this, the post has made over $1,373. $1,370. Because see, people are that excited. There are so many people who have left YouTube just to come to Steam it, hoping for a decentralized video sharing platform, that this project is giving them hope.
You can only have so many letters, right? So it's probably saying, hey, I'm in danger.
Hey, I'm in danger. Okay, yeah, maybe he left out the Y.
Well, because you can only have so many letters in your name, right?
Right. I'm not sure what the cutoff is. I think it's, 16 or I'm not sure. I don't know if that's enough. Anyway, so this has been launched. It's working. Right now it's working. And there's another one called Viewerly, or Viewly. I think it's Viewly. Like viewing Lee, and I gotta find out where that is. But it's also working right now. That was Steam Q. People were talking about Steam Q, and it has now moved over, and it's now called Viewly. So here's the deal. Here's the deal, guys. That when you start pushing people out, and it's something as big as YouTube, you start pushing these people away, and there's a lot of people who are being pushed away, who represent millions of subscribers. They're gonna want to go somewhere. The market will produce something and somewhere for them to go every single time, and it has. It's producing these things. None of them are 100% yet. They're still in development. They're all being tested. Some of them are having great success. Live Pure is another one, It's a decentralized, blockchain-based video sharing platform. So where people can earn money by posting videos, crypto. This is going to be the future. I'm telling you. Also, believe me. People didn't believe me when I said YouTube was pushing people away, and your time here is limited. Because if you're a conservative, if you're any sort about off-grid living, or if these people find you weird at all, you're gone. People didn't believe me. Also, believe me that when these things happen, I mean, they're going to take over YouTube. YouTube will become MySpace. Facebook, I think, will become MySpace here in a few years. People thought MySpace would never go away. And there are people out there who think YouTube's never going to go away. And my only response to that is, YouTube meet MySpace, because the market decides where, what will succeed and what will not. And as soon as someone gets that stupid to start sending all these people away who are making this company millions upon millions of dollars, the market will come up with something else.
Because they can't handle our worldview.
Yeah, they can't handle your worldview. And it's just that simple, guys. The market will win out every single time. And so it is. And that's what people are developing right now. And I'm telling you, I think the future is decentralized blockchain technology. People want to be able to make money. They want to be able to watch things for free. They have this another one called LBRY that's out there. But it charges a real small fee to watch the videos. And people are not going to pay a real small fee, no matter how small the fee is, to watch videos. Unless it's like a Netflix or something like that, where it's premium, studio-produced content. But if you can make something where people can watch for free and the creators can get paid, that will succeed. It will. And there's a big need for it right now because YouTube is just acting crazy, and YouTube is going to look back on this in a year and go, what did we do wrong? What in the world did we do wrong? Because there are so many people wanting to leave. Anyway, I wanted to throw that out there. Links in the description below. Please read both the articles. I've had people tell me, Zach, I just think you're overreacting. I'm not overreacting. It's happening right now. It was on the front page of Drudge. Major channels are getting demonetized and restricted. And there is an alternative, and you're gonna need to be able to adjust and overcome, to succeed in these alternatives. But you can succeed. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. And brighter days are in the future where you can say what you. I mean, guys, there's topics we want to talk about. We can't talk about it on YouTube. We just can't. For fear of all kinds of things and, or demonetization. I don't care about the gun stuff anymore, but, when it comes to alternative medicines and other things like that, there's a lot of people out there who are very knowledgeable, especially essential oils. Essential oils have been used for treatment of things that ail people for thousands of years, and you're not really allowed to talk about those things. You're just not. Otherwise, you can be in trouble. And the blockchain cannot be censored. So, okay, moving on. We got some other things we want to talk about today. But check out the articles. Those are linked in the description below. And 3 things. This is really... See, I like pointing out different blogs from around the internet, homestead blogs that may not necessarily be on the Homestead Network, but produce good content, good articles. Maybe they produce them or not. I mean, maybe they're good, maybe they're not. But bring them over here and me and Jamie can talk about them. So it's practicalselfreliance.com. Off-grid budget. This is 3 things I wish we'd budgeted before moving off-grid. I don't think we've talked about this particular blog in the past on the channel before. So,
boy, that's a lot of solar panels.
Yeah, they got a lot of solar panels.
Oh my gosh.
If you're interested, you can follow along by visiting the link in the description below. It looks like on their Facebook page, they only have 374 likes. So when you go over to the page, do them a favor and click the like button for their Facebook page. But click on the link below, and it says 3 things I wish we'd budgeted for before moving off-grid. And the first one is property taxes. We've talked about this on the channel before, and I'll just read it. Interrupt me whenever you feel like it. It says, depending on where you live, property taxes can be a serious burden. In our town in central Vermont, the annual property tax rate is 2.59%. That means we pay the town 2.59% of our home's value every single year. That seems like a lot.
Huh.
So look at the point she's made. So to make the math simple, let's say it's 2.5%. That means that even if we didn't have a mortgage, we have to pay the town the full value of our home every 40 years just in property taxes.
Why are they living there?
I don't know. I have no idea. It says with annual tax increases, which have happened every single year we've lived here, it's more likely that we'll pay the town, but mind you, the full value of our house in closer to 30 years. That makes no sense.
That's a little, wow.
It says if you're building your own home, there are a few things you can do to reduce the assessed value of your home and thereby reduce your property taxes. So here, I disagree. So she's saying, okay, let's say you live where she lives in Vermont, central Vermont. And she understands that the property taxes is 2.59%, and every year it goes up, so they probably are going to pay their entire home's value within every 30 years or less because it keeps increasing. And she wants to suggest maybe some ways where you can build your, less walk-in closets, because when the assessor comes through, I guess they do home inspections in Vermont. But she's talking about things you can reduce, like not using. A bedroom, at least in Vermont, is defined as a room with a closet, and anything without a closet is an office or den. So maybe you don't have a closet, and that reduces the bedroom amount, and you pay less taxes.
That's nuts.
Right? See, my thing is just move.
Yeah.
Why are you there? Just get out. Sell the house, tell the new owner, good luck, and leave. I don't get it. I have no idea why you'd want to live there. Anyway, so it could be helpful information for folks who are maybe trying to sell a house and you want to make it as attractive as possible to new buyers, by doing some of these things. I mean, these could be it could be very helpful advice. But to plan your home with these things in mind, because you're going to be paying 2.59%, or you must really like Vermont. I mean, that's the only thing. If you really like Vermont,
whatever area has high taxes, maybe you have family there or whatever.
Maybe you were born and raised there. Maybe you have a lot of land. I mean, sell it.
On a property, I was just doing the math in my head. So on a property that is $100,000 value,
right?
1 year's assessment would be $2,500.
Right.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but there's people who have written us. They say they have to pay, $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000 a year sometimes, depending on where they live.
Yeah, that's a lot.
At least this is more rural, which probably makes it less.
But usually your property taxes are figured into your mortgage. So, right? Isn't it?
I'm not sure how that works. Maybe it's for new home buyers. It could be. I don't know. Or maybe
I thought whenever we had a mortgage, it was
for the first 30-year mortgage.
It was figured into the mortgage, and I don't know. I could be wrong.
Anyway,
it's been a long time since we've had a mortgage.
That's just, to me, it's all crazy. Let's go to the next one she has. It says dependable internet. And we've talked about this before, too. We plan to finance our off-grid lifestyle with remote on-grid work. That can work wonderfully as you get the benefit of the lower cost of living in a rural area, but still are able to pull in independent contractor wages from high cost of living areas like New York City. There's just one problem. To work remotely, you need dependable internet. And that's a big problem for a lot of people. Deep South was talking about this tonight on their show. And so it's that way for us too. We have fiber going in on, both directions on our road. They just haven't turned it on. Every time we ask the phone company about it, they have the same answer, 10 years. And they've been saying that for the last 5 years, 10 years before it turns on. So I have no idea when that's going to happen. It says what happens when an ice storm, or what's going to happen when an ice storm covers your panels for a week, or maybe your off-grid power is working great, but power's out in the rest of the state, so your internet provider isn't up and running. For the most part, you want to choose to be indoors, working for pay when the weather is at its worst. Unfortunately, that's when your internet is most likely to be down. So having reliable internet, dependable internet. So things you could budget, I don't know. I mean, how do you budget for that? It's more of a planning issue. Going somewhere where you have internet. We've done videos on this, different options. You got satellite and point-to-point cell networks.
She's saying don't rely on your on-grid remote job to be your only source of income.
So she says, take up selling jams or soaps, tap trees, produce your own maple syrup, which I'm sure they have a lot of in Vermont. Work towards removing your source of income from the grid, and you'll be happier in the long run. Easier said than done.
Yeah, that's a high dream.
I mean, it's a good dream. It's one we want to do one day. But
yeah, I just can't see that happening. We don't know anyone who functions only on their homestead with what they produce on their homestead.
Really? Well, I mean, yeah, most people have jobs in town or something.
They have jobs, or, their YouTube income, or, they're selling things online like we do. You're working remotely. I don't know anyone.
Yeah, it's hard because I think, down the road, years down the road, we'll have more of that ability. Producing lumber, because we've started doing that now. Growing sugarcane, if we do that. Growing sunchokes. We're going to plant a field. We talked about that this week, about planting a field of that because that's very valuable. Sunchokes are very valuable. They can be sold.
But even then, like the people in this area who are raising cattle or whatever, I mean...
It's all a supplement.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they still have some kind of... I'm thinking about the guy who has the other sawmill in the area.
Yeah.
Who works on that maybe once a week, and then he has numerous other things he does.
Yeah. I think it's we've talked about this with other people like Doug and Stacy, where there's no one option for having an income on your homestead. There's many options. You have to keep all those options on the table, and all of them together make a living for you. There's just not one thing you can do to make a living. It's, living out here. It's hard to do that.
I'm just really skeptical, number one, of her suggestions. Take up selling jams and soaps, tap trees, and produce your own maple syrup. Well, okay, she lives in Vermont.
They can probably produce a lot of maple syrup.
They can probably produce a lot. But still, that would be a seasonal thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just skeptical. There's lots and lots and lots of people who sell soap online today.
Right.
And again, if you do that, your business is going to be online. Any of those things, the world of mail order catalogs is over.
Yeah.
So I just think that her suggestions are not really going with what she's saying. If you can't have reliable internet, then how is any of her suggestions going to work?
So could you survive without internet and working on grid? Yes. But I think you're still going to have a job. Even people 100 years ago had jobs off the homestead. Some of them.
Yeah.
And those who eked by, it was still, they were large landowners who could do that, and they hired people to, keep track of their cattle or to harvest their grain or things like that. But it was the large landowners that did all of their business, and even then, they did business, by trading and imports, and these big, large landowners didn't become large landowners usually because they inherited a family business that involves things other than the homestead, other than their land.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just the land. What were you going to say? Something?
I don't know. I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling guilty for tearing her article apart. Sorry.
Well, that's what we do. I mean, we don't tear articles apart.
I'm not trying to.
We apply our experience based on what we've done, and we try to play it out to see if it's possible or not.
That one suggestion just doesn't make sense.
Okay. So generator time, fuel and maintenance. It says since we still had on-grid income sources in our off-grid home, there were some days when we really needed power. In the summer, during gardening season, you have more power than you can use. But when you're inside in the dead of winter trying to make a living, things get stretched a bit thin. Until we really learned how to manage power well. See, that's another thing, managing power. Most people on solar don't know how to manage it right out of the box.
Yeah, I know. But man, look at their solar panels.
Well, they have a bunch there and a bunch in the front.
How much power do they need?
Well, they probably got a lot.
I'm sorry.
Well, it's a big home.
Yeah, but...
So, they have a lot of panels, but it's a big home.
A lot of panels.
Two-car garage. And they have a wind turbine, it looks like, too. So, but again, that's the thing. That's why all these companies are going out of business, because people get into solar, They have no idea what they're doing. They just think it's plug and play. And when something goes wrong, and it will go wrong, they have to make calls to these companies, and these companies have to come out. And who's paying for that? Are you paying for service calls? Are they doing this for free? I mean, when you call up a company and they have to come out, you're taking that guy away from doing other business where they could be making money in installations. So that's why all these companies. We're going to talk about this week, but that just hit me when she said that in the article. When you're learning,
she's not talking about a regular generator. Not generators like we have.
Yeah, I think she's using something that's going to be like a 30 kilowatt.
Yeah, it's like one of those house generators.
Yeah, it's a big generator. So our generator that we have couldn't power our house.
No.
It's a 14 amp generator.
Well, it's just like a shop generator.
Yeah. It says, while you'd like to be able to fix everything yourself, if it's your first generator experience, maintenance can be harder than something more simple like a lawnmower. When the power's out and the generator won't start, that means the internet's also down and you can't exactly pull up a YouTube troubleshooting video until you really know your generator. Expect to spend more than you'd like with a local generator service company.
Thoughts? Yeah, I think that. Well, we've said this before, and I'm just maybe this is my soapbox. Sorry,
no, go ahead. It's okay.
I just think if you're gonna do solar, you should figure out how to reduce your lifestyle first,
right?
Because from the generator she's talking about, it's very clear that their whole house is just a regular house with all of the regular appliances that require electricity.
Right.
She probably even dries her clothes in a clothes dryer.
Wow, that does eat a lot of juice.
Well, I'm just speculating. I don't know. She didn't say that. All I'm saying is that if you're gonna go solar, you should really work on reducing first. Figuring out how to do things without electricity. I think it's a really worthwhile thing because then you realize, okay, what are my priorities?
We should do an article or maybe even a video on some of the top things we'd recommend people moving off grid. And that would be one of them right there is learn to do without. And then if you want to add it back later on, great. But learn to do without it and see if you can get by with it starting off. Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I just think about this every time I make bread because I used to at least 2 or 3 times a week make bread in a bread machine. Like I really thought I needed my bread machine because it was super simple. You just put your stuff in and let it go. Like I actually did not know how to make bread without a bread machine. Today, I look at that and I think, wow, why didn't I invest the time to learn to make bread without a bread machine? Because it's so easy. It actually even takes me less time to make bread without a machine. And I can make more of it at one time.
But there was a little bit of learning curve, right? I mean,
there was, but I should have invested the time to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And I did once I was forced to, but there's so many gadgets in the kitchen that you can learn to do without.
Exactly. Okay, we got about a minute left. Let's head over to the chat room. Well, not a minute left. We got about 15 minutes left, but it's 1 minute till usually we head over to the chat room. So 9:44. We usually try to head over there by 9:45. So if you have a question and you want us to see it, make sure you put it in all caps, so that I see it. And if for some reason we don't get to your question, please repost it again in all caps so that I can see it. And we'll try to get to it, unless we're just ignoring your question, which could possibly be the case, and which we won't get to your question at all. So, so over at the chat room, I see we got a lot of mods hanging around. That's good. Always like the moderators. Thanks for coming tonight. Mr. Rain, Rain Country, Simple Life Homestead, and probably We Tree Bonsai, and maybe even Shalom Makers is here too. So thanks all you guys for doing what you do. Really appreciate it. Let's see. Sorry I'm late. I have a chicken. Question mark. You're Buff Orpington. What age do you kill them? I think it's like 8 or 9 weeks.
Yeah, definitely by 12 to 16.
Yeah, before 12 weeks, I would do it. That's. I mean, Tim would be the guy asked most about that.
But we kill them regularly after that. We just can them.
Yeah, we can them. Yep. So how much solar do you have? So right now the home is being powered by two 250-watt panels. That's it. And that's why we're in the dark. And that's why you don't see us on the video. Because
we just don't use solar. We just don't use our power for a lot of things.
Yeah. It's we've learned to do without. And I haven't had an electric bill in 5 years. I'm not going to ever have one again. We don't have anything in the kitchen, the bathroom, no heat, no AC, no lights.
Literally the only thing we use our power for is our office equipment, charging laptops and phones. And an occasional, like once in a while, I will plug in my very small food processor if I need to chop things like that.
Benjamin Turner says, me too. Hello, the Turner family. Thanks for being there. Appreciate it. But yeah, the solar, we have two 250-watt panels and 4 AGM batteries that power the house. That's it. And all it usually does is give us the ability to charge our laptops and my cell phone, which is part-time a camera, and my main camera that I use to do for videos. That's it. That's all I use it for. Okay, and internet. It powers the modem. That's it. So, are the soda bottles in your property invasive? Yeah, they are very invasive. Although I am currently negotiating a ceasefire with the soda bottles because there has been a rash of poison ivy that comes with taking them on in the woods during the summertime. So we're negotiating a ceasefire until such time when the poison ivy is no longer there. Then we can commence with the bloodbath or soda bath. Mm-hmm. Let's see. What is your most important kitchen gadget besides Berkey?
Well, I'll just give you a small list. A really, really good knife. That's probably my number one.
She's getting an upgrade here in a minute. Or in a minute.
Yeah, he told me I could buy another knife because mine is getting a little worn out and a lot dull. And
it's her birthday coming up.
It's my knife I use for everything. A good chef's knife. Like, I feel like you can do anything with a good chef's knife. And of course a bread knife, but those two. Cast iron, really, good seasoned cast iron skillet in the size that's good for your family. My canner.
Yeah, the canner.
Other than Berkey, there are probably those things. Everyone has like, pots and pans and stuff. Like, I would never a good knife. Like, I feel like you can do anything in the kitchen with a good knife.
Yeah. So she's getting a new knife coming up. She is, what's the knife called?
I don't know.
What?
I'm still...
What, you're wondering if you're going to get that one?
Yeah, it's a little pricey.
It's her birthday coming up, and I told her she can get the knife because she uses, it's everything. It's her main tool on this homestead.
Yeah, it is.
I can spend $400 on a chainsaw.
It's not $400.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying. I need that chainsaw.
Yeah, I use my knife multiple times
My
a day.
chainsaw, I've been using it for years, and, it's great. But I had to spend $400 on it. So, anyway, let's see what else. I saw a bunch of questions up here I've missed. Let me go up here and get these. What is the one thing that takes the most solar, the least? My laptop, the one we're on right now, we're broadcasting on, takes the most solar.
Are they talking about, like, in a regular house?
Well, all right, let's just say that for us. For us, the thing that takes the most solar for us is my laptop. My laptop is a powerhouse. And the thing that takes the least in our house is the actual router and DSL modem. It takes hardly anything for that. In a regular house, the thing that takes the most, solar is heating elements. We don't have any heating elements, so it's anything with a heating element takes the most solar. Heat takes a lot of electricity, generated heat. So that really is.
I would say like a clothes dryer. I've never really heard of anyone. Well, I take that back. There are some off-grid people that use a clothes dryer, but they have the really large systems, and they may be supplementing with electricity either through a big generator or from being plugged in to the grid.
It says, will you be making your own butter and cheese when you start milking your cow?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. What I'd really like to do is build something similar to my neighbors and to Shalom Acres, their root cellar, where we can age cheese.
Yeah.
Have cheese year round aging in there, because we eat a lot of cheese.
We love cheese.
Yeah. What's your most? Let's see, Zach. When do you harvest the sorghum? We're in Kansas. You don't know. You have to keep an eye on it. We'll harvest it sometime in the fall. Or right before the fall, but probably in the fall when temperatures start to get a little cool, but not. It's got to be before the frost. How much meat do you get? We a lot of times butcher our own meat. We have a lot of venison season is coming up. We have chickens. We'll butcher some lamb. We have one lamb I have left to butcher. We still get stuff at the store sometimes, but it's not a lot. And we get venison is a big thing around here. Come fall, it'll be shooting time, and I'll be harvesting deer. Zach, let's see. Do you keep ducks? We just started with them, and they are sometimes an adventure. We don't. I don't know. I would like to get ducks, but the only reason I would ever get ducks is for insect control, slug control in your garden. That's about it. I don't think I would get them for any other reason, but I've heard they're great in a garden. And they don't scratch like chickens. Chickens will tear up a garden, especially an established garden that's growing. They'll dig up all your plants and everything looking for them. I mean, they can dig better. Tim says they dig better than a dog. So I don't know, but I haven't really messed with ducks. Tim doesn't like ducks, so I think we're just probably going to stay away from the ducks. Let's see. Jamie, I love my Pampered Chef knife and my Ulu. What's an Ulu?
Ulu is another brand of a knife.
Have you checked that one out yet?
No, but I think it's correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds to me like an Asian brand. And supposedly the Japanese knives are the best anyway. What I want is a Santoku knife. Santoku. That's the shape of knife that I really, really like. So the Japanese brands are good for that. So I will look at that.
Jim Crawford says you need a Bowie knife. Or Arkansas toothpick.
Yeah.
You can chop with that.
Yeah. Santoku.
Santoku, okay.
That's what I want.
Santoku Arkansas toothpick. Is there a good length for green beans you should harvest them at? I eat them raw, so when I can pick them and eat them raw, I pick them. If they go too long and you can actually see the shapes of the beans inside the pods, then I use those for seed saving. But I don't like getting them too big because I just don't think they taste good.
No, they just get a little bit bitter and just a little stringy. And
yeah, stringy too.
Where I'm not a huge green bean fan. I try to be, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I like eating them raw, and she cooks them in. We have lots of them canned in the pantry, and when she cooks them, I eat them. I love them. I think they're good. I do too.
You don't eat them very much.
Well, it's because you don't cook them very much.
When I have cooked them, you don't eat them.
Okay.
The last time I made them, you didn't eat them.
We'll do a video this week of us eating green beans.
Okay.
Okay. Would a tornado...
Touchy subject. It's touchy.
Yeah, quit asking those touchy subject questions. Would a tornado shelter pass for a root cellar? Absolutely, it would. But I don't know if it has to. There's no really code we have to meet out here where we're at. But we're gonna build some kind of shelter for a root cellar. Can you do a chicken canning video? We've done chicken canning videos, haven't we?
It seems like we've done a lot of meat canning videos.
Yeah, you should look. Go back and look at our playlist and videos, and just type in the search chicken canning and see what comes up. Also on our website too, there might be articles with pictures for that.
You guys, meat is so easy to can. It's like the easiest. I mean, it's like It's probably my favorite thing to can because it's so easy. You just stick your meat in the jar raw, clean it and cut off the little fatty bits or whatever you don't want to eat eventually, and stick it in the jar. Bone in. I mean, it's fine. And pack it down, put your lid on, and put it in your canner. I mean, it's really that easy.
Rain Country says a Jingsu knife.
Jingsu. Okay. Yeah.
They cut through cans.
Huh.
Sounds like a lightsaber. You can cut with a lightsaber knife.
Hillbilly Haven says the ulu is an Alaskan knife used for filleting meat.
Mostly it's U-shaped.
U-shaped. Okay, I can't imagine that, but...
It's an herb chopper. That's what Daryl says.
Huh. Then I don't need it.
You don't need an herb chopper?
No, because I chop herbs with my regular Santoku knife.
Okay.
I'm a multi-purpose girl. I want something that's going to perform every task, if it possibly can.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of different things.
Mountain Mama says, can't wait for more videos in the outdoor kitchen. I don't know. We gotta get some more canning done.
Yeah, we just got to get those tomatoes ripe.
Yeah, tomatoes. We're waiting for the tomatoes, guys, right now. That's the big thing. Jamie, when you can your beans, do you add salt?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I do need to can beans. I can do that this week.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. All right.
I'm talking about, I assume you're talking about dried beans. So dried beans are so easy too. They're like one of the simplest things to do too. I always soak my beans first just because I think it's a good health practice. You want to break down, the phytic acid. I forget what kind of acid it is. Anyway, if you look it up, you'll find it. Soak your beans. No, I do not add salt. I do not add salt to anything I can, except for pickled things. But if I'm pressure canning, I do not add salt. You do not need it. It is not a preservative when you are pressure canning. And dried beans have to be pressure canned.
Right. Gypsy Farmer says, can you do root cellar with your water table? Yes, you have to put in a French drain, though, where we're at. Otherwise, it'll fill up with water and just be wet in there all the time. You put a French drain in, it'll be okay. Do you ever make pies on videos? And Benjamin Turner says 12-inch shoon knife. That was one, right? A shoon?
Yeah, I know.
Shoon?
That was the shoon. Yeah. Ugh.
Do you ever make pies on video?
Seems like I have.
I don't think we've done that yet. I don't know. I don't remember that.
I try not to bake because then I eat it.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't eat it. I don't want to eat sugar.
It's her mom that does all the baking on the homestead.
Yeah, but she doesn't really love to make pies. She hardly ever really.
I like pies, though.
Tara says, I just say, break out the machete, yeah.
Is there any one thing that you miss?
Huh.
She said, I hate a cold bathroom in the middle of the night. This is from J. Mary Lestone.
Yeah, that is a little rough, but we have vinyl floors that's not on a slab. If I had tile or if our home was built on a slab, I think that would be a little rough.
Right.
But our floor doesn't get too cold.
Right.
It's well insulated underneath. I don't know. What do I
if I could just take a hot shower or a cold shower, just a shower anytime I wanted to, I guess that would be something I miss. I enjoy that when I have to travel, get a shower again like that. But I don't mind, like in the summertime, getting a cold shower. It's refreshing, and it really helps me sleep good by doing that. So I have no, I'm not complaining.
I'm having trouble answering. I think one of the things that I did in the beginning was I never let myself look back. And things were really hard in the beginning. But I didn't let myself look back, and I did that on purpose because you can't dwell on something that you don't have. Because if you're going to keep moving forward, you got to be okay in the moment. If you keep looking back, you might as well go back. You might as well just quit.
Right. Hey guys, sorry we didn't get to all your questions. I know that there's a lot of questions we didn't get to. Real quick shout out to Country Prepper, praying for you, buddy, and watched your video this week, and so let you know you're in my thoughts and prayers. And so just wanted to throw that out there. Hey guys, thanks again for tuning in again each week. Be sure to check out our sponsor, gasspouts.com. Maybe even send them a message that you heard about them on our website and thanking them for being a sponsor. That'd be great too. Hey guys, hit that thumbs up button before you leave, and we'll see you next time on An American Homestead.